Welcome, Brocat Nation. Tonight we are going to give you an overview of all the hotels at Orlando Resort and why they're our favorites, what we like about them, what we don't. Just an honest review. So as the parks open back up and you're wondering where are we going to stay, we can give you some options. So hold on, Brocat Nation. It's about to get epic. So, you're headed to the theme parks. You're going to get your Harry Potter on, but you want to stay on site. I don't blame you. It's way more fun to stay on site if you can do it. We've stayed off site, and it's okay, but you have to drive in and hit the parking lot and wait for parking, all those things. If you're on site at one of the on-site hotels, it's where the fun is, where the action is, and you get to ride a little boat back to your room in some cases. So let's talk about that. Just an overview of the hotels tonight. You're headed to the parks, things are opening up, where are we going to stay? Well, Universal breaks it down. 4 different divisions: Premier, Preferred, Prime Value, and Value hotels. Of course, your Premier are the highest priced rooms that they have. This includes Portofino Bay, Hard Rock, and Royal Pacific. So we've stayed at them all. The thing that makes them premier is that you get to skip the regular lines at most Universal attractions, and it's a value of $129 for an express pass. They call it a free Universal Express Unlimited Pass, and you get that when you stay at any of the premier hotels. They're a little more pricey, but they're worth it many times for that express pass. So Lowe's Portofino Bay. It's a great place. It's as far away off the beaten path as you can get for an on-site hotel. So it's a boat trip or it's a nice walk to get to the parks. There's a park walk that's fantastic, and if you like a resort where it's just sprawling out, that's Portofino Bay. It's Italian in theming, and gorgeous entry as you take the boat in, either during the day or at night, and gorgeous layout. Some of the best restaurants. I believe Mama Della's, we've eaten there several times. Get their spaghetti. It's fantastic. Hard Rock Hotel, of the premier hotels, I would say Hard Rock is probably my favorite, simply because you can hear music when you're underwater at the pool. That's it. Plus, their lobby is fantastic. I could just sleep in Hard Rock's lobby. In fact, I haven't, but I could, is what I'm saying. So it's got a cooler vibe to it. Of course, you know, the Hard Rock gift shop's there. Restaurants are good, but it just has a laid-back, cooler vibe. And it is as close to the parks as you can get for the premier level. And then there's Lowe's Royal Pacific, which probably is my least favorite. We stayed there in 2019, and it just is a little bit tired. They're renovating, and I'm sure it's going to be great once they get it renovated again. But it is a little disjointed in the way that it's laid out, and there's not a whole lot to do. One of the drawing features was Emerald's Chop Chop, which was a fantastic restaurant there. But it's gone now and yet to be replaced. Restaurants are a little confusing to me there. The one redeeming feature at Royal Pacific is Jake's American Bar. Their flatbread pizza is fantastic, and I love that little nook as far as a restaurant goes. One of my favorite places at Royal Pacific. So Portofino Bay, Hard Rock, Royal Pacific, premier hotels. If you want to spend the money and get the express pass to go along with it, the Brocat vote is going to be Hard Rock. In the preferred section, which is a little less money, the only hotel in the preferred section is Sapphire Falls, and that's because it is a convention hotel. It is fantastic. It's a newer hotel, and it just rocks. It has a big sprawling campus, the biggest pool on campus. it just is great. It smells good in the lobby. Their gift shop, I don't know who does the purchasing for that gift shop, but I always end up buying something there because they have different stuff. They have a great restaurant there, and I was looking at, it's called Ametista. I always mispronounce it, and then Miss Brocat gets mad at me for that. But Ametista has one of the best restaurants, I think, in any of the resorts. They do a rotisserie chicken there, and it's worth your time. A lot of times, you know, you stay someplace and you don't want to eat in the restaurant at the hotel. You want to go somewhere else, but it's way worth it. You have the, let's see, the New Dutch Trading to get coffee in the morning. It's just a kind of stop and go place, but it's fantastic. The last place would be Strong Water Tavern, which is the convention kind of bar and eatery at night. It's always hopping. There's a lot of people there, and the food is great. They sell vintage rum, so you can get any kind of really a rum specialty drinks. You can get flights of rum there, and then it's tapas style. So if you're coming in from the park at night and you don't want a whole big giant meal, you grab your voodoo donuts and then you head over to the room and then maybe get a little something there. So we like Sapphire Falls. We stayed there for over a week when it first opened, and one of the main things I like as a photographer is they decorate everything there on the walls is done with photography. Their centerpiece is a giant spiral staircase with black and white photography up and down the steps, and so I find myself just on the steps looking at all the different things they have to offer in the photography section. So that's the preferred level, Sapphire Falls. It's a little bit less than the premier level, and you do not get express passes with that. You do get early park admission, where the parks are open an hour earlier for Sapphire Falls and the rest that I would mention here. So that brings us to Prime Value. Yes, Prime Value Hotels, which is Cabana Bay and Aventura. So they're the newest, well, almost the newest hotels that are in progress right now in the Prime Value category. So Universal's Cabana Bay Beach Resort and also Aventura. So I just finished a stay at Aventura, and we've stayed there. Our first stay wasn't real good because it was just when it opened. It was near the holidays, and the elevators got stuck. And the selling point about Aventura is that there's a bar on the rooftop, and it is cool. It's the best views of anywhere around the resort, and we thought that was great. So if you're into that, you want a rooftop bar kind of thing, then Aventura is great. So yeah, Bar 17 Bistro is at the top. You've got the Urban Pantry, which has a ton of different things. They've got a pizza bar. They've got bowls you can get, any kind of noodles, and then they got American Affair, which hamburgers. I got a steak there last time at the Urban Pantry, and it was wonderful. So steak, vegetables, if you're into that kind of thing, that's your place. There's also a small lobby bar there in Aventura. It just doesn't have a real eclectic vibe to it because Aventura is a smaller hotel. The pool is a little bit smaller, but if you like the sleek design kind of aspects of Aventura, you get an iPad when you get in the room and it controls most everything in the room. It's not on the boat path. Some people, and I'm not recommending this, but some people walk over to Sapphire Falls and use that to get on the boat. You could do that if you wanted, or just ride the bus. The bus transportation takes you over there. So that's Aventura. And then we've got Cabana Bay. You know, we got caught up in the Mad Men craze a while back, watching Mad Men. And we saw that they were building Cabana Bay, thought it would be great. It's the 50s Jack LaLanne studio to work out in. You've got a bowling alley, Galaxy Bowl. You've got a great game room there. And Cabana Bay is not necessarily a convention hotel with convention space attached to it. but it is gigantic. You walk in and there's palm trees in the middle of the lobby. The lobby's colorful. They've got the swizzle lounge. So at Cabana Bay, you've got the Bayliner Diner, and it is cool because it's gigantic. You've got several different types of food, from breakfast to pizza, all kinds of things in their pantry. And they have a more readily stocked pantry, I think, a bunch of different items in there that you can get. I recommend, if you're staying a week, to get the cup that you can do free refills on. We use that. I use it for coffee in the morning and Coke at night. Well worth it. The thing about Cabana Bay, their pool is fantastic. They have 2 of them, but it has a vibe where people are all over the place. Starbucks in the morning to the Galaxy Bowl restaurant or the Swizzle Lounge, and they have the best pizza. Delisio Pizza is there, so we get that at night when we come in from the parks. Cabana Bay, they do special things during Halloween Horror Nights, which they had Stranger Things decorated there last time, and I thought that was fantastic. They do a really nice job with theming, and you know, if you're looking to lay back and you're with the kids, that's a great place to stay because you've got a bunch of options for things to do, from, you know, bowling to, you know, their pool has a lazy river attached to it, and you know, grab a tube, go down the lazy river, put the kids in the lazy river. And then I would say the last thing about Cabana Bay is they just built towers. So we had the tower room booked, but we changed things around, and the thing about the towers is you can see Volcano Bay, see the colors. It's the closest to Volcano Bay, and if you get a tower room facing that, you can see Volcano Bay erupt and all the different colors that goes to it. So that's cool. Last on our list is the value hotels. Once again, your prime value, Cabana Bay, Aventura, and the Endless Summer Resorts, you get an hour early entry. Early entry to go in, walk around before the big crowds get there, and we like that. We take advantage of it. We don't necessarily need the express passes at some points, and you know, they're kind of a waste of money if you get in and the park's not that packed. But you know, getting there an hour early, we seem to be able to get done what we need to do on our list. So the value resorts. If we talk about Endless Summer, you're talking about Surfside Inn and Dockside Inn. So I called to reserve Dockside because that is the only resort that we haven't stayed in. And when I say we've stayed at them all, we have all the ones that have been built and are open. So Dockside's next on our list. We are staying at Endless Summer Surfside this time. We've stayed there before. And what I find fascinating about Surfside is the Brazilian tours. It seems like there's always a pack of Brazilian teenagers. I don't know how that is or how that works, but I guess they book Endless Summer Resort as part of their hotel package. So that fascinates me. So, you know, you don't have the amenities of like Sapphire Falls at the Endless Summer Resorts. You don't have, I mean, you have a Starbucks. You don't have a big, giant, fancy restaurant or 2. But the lobbies are fantastic. The pools are great. It just is a little, some people would say cheaper, but it's not. These resorts are fantastic. Their theming is great. The rooms are fantastic. But you're not going to get all the amenities of the other. You're not on the taxi route. You're not going to get express pass, and you're going to take a bus from Endless Summer over to the parks. Some people think, oh man, I don't want to do that. I might as well stay off-site if I'm going to do that. But the bus is only like 13 to 15 minutes, if that. And they are running all the time. We never had any problem where we had to wait a long time for a bus from these resorts. And, you know, I loved it. I mean, it's simpler. There's not, you know, big restaurants there, but you can just hop the bus and go down to City Walk and then, you know, you can go to any of the other resorts and eat as well. So there you have it. Premier, Preferred, Prime Value, and Value hotels. This is an overview from the Brocat. If you have kids, I'll tell you what, I'm at Cabana Bay Beach Resort. Their pools are great. The slides are great. You've got ping pong tables and splash pads. That's where I'm going to be because it is just hopping, fun. The kids to bed. If you go down to the Swizzle Lounge, that's always a great place. We got pizza there last time, and there's all kinds of people watching opportunities. So that's my option. If I'm going there and I have kids, it's probably going to be Cabana Bay. If it's just me and the missus, it's going to be Aventura. And I'll have to admit that I didn't really like Aventura when they first opened because the elevators broke down. It was crazy. We stayed, I think, on the 11th floor. It was nuts. There was the noise. It was the holidays, and they were just opening it up. So I thought I'd give it another chance. Went back, and you know, the manager there's great. The people are great, and that would probably be my choice, Aventura, if it was just going to be a couple. And then if you want to spend the money, if you want to get the express passes, you can't beat Hard Rock. I mean, if you want to go to Mama Della's to eat, stay at Hard Rock and just take the boat over there and get something to eat. But that would be my vote in the Premier section. It's getting a little dated. It's one of the oldest, you know, resort hotels at Universal, but it just has a charm to it. You've got the Palm restaurant there. That's a great steakhouse. And, you know, that would be so it's either Hard Rock. If I have the kids, it's going to be Cabana Bay. If it's just me and the missus, it's going to be Aventura. So do it. Stay on site. Subscribe here if you will. I'm going to be doing resort tours coming up this year as we get the parks back in shape. And we're headed there in June, so you might see us wandering around. If you stay at Cabana Bay, you can get this great bowling shirt if you want it. So yeah, that's it. An overview of all the hotels at Universal. Universal's resort, fantastic what they've done in the last 5 to 10 years with their hotel space. When we first stayed on there, it was Portofino Bay, Hard Rock, and Royal Pacific wasn't even built yet. And then to see what they have done in adding all these different hotels, and especially Sapphire Falls, that convention center hotel, fantastic. So my hats are off to Universal for what they've done. Value, Prime Value, Preferred, and Premier hotels. Find one you like. Let me know if you've stayed at any of these hotels and what your opinion is. I'd be interested in that. But that's my vote as the Brocat. I'm not a travel agent. I'm just this guy. I'm just this guy that likes Captain America and Marvel Comics, grew up reading them, and love the parks from start to finish. So there you go. All right, Brocat's out. Thanks, Brocat Nation. It's sure to be epic this time and next. Come for the safari, we always say, and stay for the butterbeer. See ya.